Bez Hashem, today's Amud is Daf Yutes Amud Aleph, continuing Torah Dalet. Till now we learned, in order to be Mamshech Shalom into the world, then you have to be Mala, the Kavod of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, to his Shorish, which is Yira. The way you're Mala Kavod is by teaching Torah in the way of Torah's Chesed, because the main Kavod Hashem is when we bring people who are Michutz L'Kedusha into Kedusha. And the way you do that is through Torah's Chesed. Right now, Kavod of Hashem is Begalus. The Ikar Kavod is by Goyim and Akum. And when you Mekarev people to Hashem, either whether it's Gerim or whether or Miskayer, or whether it's Bali Tshuva or Niskarev, then that is how you're Mala to Kavod Hashem. Now, the way you're Mekarev people is through the Torah itself. Now, we're being mamshich in Daf Yutes, that the way you're Mekar people's through Torah. Why is that? Because each one of the Isis of Torah, it's brought down in Chazal, there's a Bechina that there are Shishim Riba Isis, 600,000 Isis to the Torah, and each Isis in the Torah is connected to one of the Shorshe Nishmas Yisrael. Every Neshama Klal Yisrael is part of the 600 root Neshamas of Klal Yisrael, and each ice in the Torah is connected to that. Whenever a person learns Torah, and he has in mind that the Torah that he says with his mouth, that he expresses with his mouth, should have the koyach to be ma'arir those neshamas which are connected to that church in the isis of Torah, and that's ma'arim to do tshuva. So that if they're Paishi Yisrael, which means that they're on the outside of Kedusha, but they're still part of Klal Yisrael, then the etzem thing that you keep in mind that your Torah should be ma'arir them has that koyach. But then when you have that in mind, and a few neshamas get together, then there's a zivug between the neshamas, and that's meilad gerim. So meilad, you're also Mekar Bal Tshuva, also Mekar Gerim through the koyach of your Torah that you learn with that kavana. The Rebbe says that this is how we're mamshech kedusha to Mekar people, and this is pshat in the Chazal that say that why are children of Talmidei Chachamim not Talmidei Chachamim? So Chazal say is because shalai baruchu b'Torah techila, because they don't make berachas Torah. So that explains that Tchila over here before means that the Sharish and the Shams of Klal Yisrael before, when they were the Maila, and when a person has intention, when he learns to be Mevarech his Torah, this Torah Shav Baracha, and it's Mevarech in the Shamas, and it's brought down into this world more in the Shamas of people that are brought into Kedusha. When a person doesn't learn Torah with a Bracha Tchila, he doesn't have in mind that his Torah should be a Torah's Chesed, then the neshamas that he brings down to this world are not they're not neshamas which have that hiserius. Memela, they're not Talmidei Chachamim. So now, in order to be zeicha to this type of Torah, the person has to have shiftless. One of these sidus that we're learning is that in order to be zeicha to tshuva, is always to shiftless and bitla covered, and that's what Chazal says. Midbar matana. That the Torah, the matana, is dafka midbar. Someone makes himself like a midbar, makes himself a place to shuffle. So there are four bechinas of shiftless. There's to be shuffle and in front of people who are bigger than me, which seems to be simple, but the Rebbe says it's a madrega. And people who are ke'erki, people on my madrega, and people who are lower than me. That in each of those bechinas I should understand to be shuffle. So when even a person, sometimes a person already has that he's shuffle in front of people greater than him, the same madrega as him, and lower than him, but afterwards he still has covered for himself. Sometimes you have to be shuffle in front of your own madrega. So a person going under, how's that possible? You could be shuffle in front of someone greater than you, but why in front of someone on your level, someone less? So the explanation is that the Rebbe is telling us that kavod is never a good thing. Understanding your erich is something else. Meaning, when the person understands that the main kavod which you're bringing out for Hashem in this world is like we spoke in other Torahs, it's when someone on the outside is coming to the inside. And even now, the covet which you bring Hashem is when you're bringing people on the outside, you're bringing them inside. So Mamela, the covet which I feel for myself, that I'm greater than other people, or the covet that look what madrigan I'm on. So if a person is always looking for his own covet, then there's no such thing as shiftless because it's only like people greater than me, okay, but people on my level. But a person understands the idea of shiftless. He's not looking for covet, then he has shiftless even in front of people who are on his level, or someone who's even on a lower level. You can even have shiftless in front of your own level, because you know the main thing isn't the covet. The main thing is knowing that Kvod Hashem is coming out of this. That someone on the outside is coming in. Either a person himself is coming inside, or he's bringing other people on the outside. How? Through Torah. Never proceeds to be masbid this hasaga into the Mamre of Rochana. So the Mamre of Rochana says, I saw an arzila bar yoma. Arzila is like a big animal, a re'im, that was the size of har tavar. And har tavar, how big is it? 4 parsais. And the place where he the length of his neck was 3 parsais, and the place where he placed his head, the resting place for his head, was a parsa and a half. And he was Rama Kufta v'Soch Yard, and he was Moitzi Re'i and Tzaya, and it fell into the Yarden. So Ar Zila Bayayma. The Rebbe says Ar. We spoke about last time that Ira Mechvoidai, the Ar and covenant connected. So Ar Zila. Rabbi Bachan saying when you see that the Ar, when the covenant Hashem is bezilusa v'galus, then it's Bar Yoima. Then because the Ar is the skala when Mashiach will come. Because we said Masa Kasimar Hayom, like Chazal say, when a person is Mekayim Hayom, Hayom Yikol Shmo, that's what brings Mashiach, as Chazal say. So this Ar, which is now Begolus, which needs Mashiach to bring him back, the Hava Kahar Tavu is the size of the mountain of Tavar. Har, the mountain, which is Gaiva. The way you bring Kod Hashem back is by breaking Tavar. Tavar is Lashon Shvidra. You break the Gaiva. And over here the Rebbe says that it's not just in front of those who are greater, the same, and less than me. It's also in front of Tzadikim, Beinanim, and Rishoyim. That a person should have no concept of being Mechad himself. Always everything is with the shiftless. So when a person does that, then that is Arba Parsis. What's Arba B'chilas Parsis? Because there's 4 things which a person has to have shiftless for. A person has to have shiftless in things which are for those 3 madrigas of in front of you, on top of you, less than you, also madrigas atzmai. And he said that also the length of his neck was 3 parsas. 3 parsas are 3 things people have gaiva from, which are Aisha, Chacham, and Giber. Chacham, Giber, Va'asha. And it says that the resting place of his head was a parsa and a half. A resting place in the zivug. We spoke about the zivug of the neshamas Archi V'Rivi. That when the place of Tchilas HaMachshava, the place where all these neshamas of everyone in Klal Yisrael is in that place is made up of 2 types of neshamas: the parsa and the palga. Parsa and the neshamas. The person is mamshech to his own children by mekar of his own children, by mekar of other people to make. Then that's like a parsa shlema. The palga, the half. Who are the half? The half are those people who are mechutz kedusha and need to be brought into the kedusha. So they are outside and they have a hard time getting in there. Rebbe says, why? Because they're full of begod and soyim, dirty clothes, soiled clothes, and because of these soiled clothes, they can't get into kedusha. It's like trying to get into Eretz Yisrael, and the Yarden, which is the river which surrounds Eretz Yisrael, is preventing them from getting into Eretz Yisrael, and that's what the Rabbi Bachana said, that they let out Soya and let out Re'i into the Yarden, which is separating it from Eretz Yisrael. And the way you get rid of those Begad and Sayim is through the Torah. The Torah that a person learns after he's Mosaic to Shiflis, that Torah, when a person learns it, then it helps him to become Makuriv to Kedusha, and it helps him to break those manias. And that means whenever the purpose of this Torah's Chesed, when you ma'or this, is to take people on the outside when they're facing manias, all the manias that a person faces when he tries to be curved to Kedusha, be described to Kedusha, when a person takes that and he learns Torah b'shiftless, that Torah helps him to break those manias, and also helps to encourage other people to help them to break those manias in order to come into Kedusha. With Hashem, tomorrow we mamshich this Torah.